So DXY, we have had a bit of a move to the downside yesterday, and it hasn't really gone too far. It was a very impulsive push, taking out these lows, but of course hasn't really amounted to anything crazy in terms of taking out some major structure on the left here, which is still really what I'm waiting for price to do in terms of my longer term buys for the dollar. If we are really going to shift direction completely, then I do need to see some lows taken out. It looks like we're heading in that direction. Of course, we haven't done that yet. We have been pretty consistent with the lower highs, so that is one thing to keep note of. And we have seen some nice momentum as well. A really strong drop a couple of weeks ago, had a bit of a correction, another strong drop, bit of a correction, another strong drop. So at the moment on the 4-hour chart, there's a lot of bearish structure. Now, I would still be bearish on the dollar. Looks like we're seeing some bullish momentum at the moment, but in terms of market structure, everything is still pointing down for me. So yeah, I'm still pretty bearish. In terms of opportunities, I was favoring a bigger pullback this week, which unfortunately didn't quite happen. Looking for a pullback into this kind of 107.6 to 108.4 area, kind of anywhere in there. I'll be looking for a lower heights for a push down. Unfortunately, this week, price was just a little bit too bearish for me. We had a retest of that low and price was on its way. So in terms of the dollar, I'm still expecting more downside. As long as we maintain the bearish structure, I would anticipate further downside, possibly for price to come back and retest support down here at 105.6. I'm not really interested in the upside just yet. Maybe as we get close to the low, this low here, I might be interested in some buys. But for now, I'm still very much focused with the sells with the USD. There might be some short-term upside, but I'm more interested with the sells. CSINtegrator, you said you're bullish for the DXY until 107.315. Where is that? 107.315. Okay, so that's somewhere in here. Otherwise, turn bearish if it doesn't reach 107.45, which is around there-ish, more or less coming back to retest the high. Yeah, I mean, we could anticipate some retracement, but I'm still very much focused in taking advantage of the sells for the dollar. So buys for a lot of the USD major pairs, which we'll get to in a second. My expectation is still very much with the sellers here. So of course there'll be retracement, but that's not really the trade I'm looking to take. Of course, in the lower time frames, there'll be different opportunities. But for myself, especially in the USD major pairs, which we'll get to in a second, I'm still very much looking for more downside as we maintain these lower highs. So as long as that stays true, stays intact, I would expect a pullback and some more follow through to the downside. So if you take a look at EURUSD, we had a bit of a push to the upside yesterday. Hasn't really taken out any structure yet. Don't know why I said yo. Hasn't taken any structure yet with EURUSD. We are still printing those higher lows, but price hasn't taken out any highs, and we have had a pretty aggressive 4-hour bearish candle there as well. So that is pretty interesting. I mean, altogether, EURUSD's price action isn't great. It is very, very flat. But as I keep getting at, the market is starting to form this this bowl shape pattern, which from experience does have a pretty high win rate in terms of playing out. When price starts to slow down, creates lower lows, and then it starts to blend into some higher lows, we do tend to reverse and see some upside. So I'm actually expecting EURUSD to pretty much break the highs here and come back and test 1.06 all the way up there as well. So that's what I'm expecting EURUSD to do in the next few days. However, in terms of opportunities, I was looking for Euro to push a little bit further to the downside yesterday. This was the area I was looking at. Didn't quite happen. We still may go and see that move potentially. And I'm still going to be looking to buy Euro. My expectation is still looking for that high to be taken out. But of course, with the rejection this morning, I wouldn't be looking to jump into buys so quickly. So potentially might see another move down. That'll be great for me because I'm still looking at buys here. I thought price was going to leave me in the dust, and it still may do that. But if we can come back down again, that could present a nice opportunity to long, perhaps sometime next week. So EURUSD, my expectation is still more upside. We haven't taken out the highs here, whereas dollar, we did actually take out the lows. So that's a bit more of a that's a bit of a conundrum there for EURUSD. If we took out the highs, then again we're looking for another pullback. Because we haven't taken out the highs, I would wait for a slightly deeper correction. and still looking for that next higher low around the 1.036 area. So that's still very much the plan. In terms of pound USD, that was very strong yesterday. Very big push to the upside. Well, I say very big, it wasn't that big, but it was a nice move to the upside, breaking out that consolidation. The plan for pound USD has been the same since the start of the week. Still looking for the retest of 1.25, really nice level of price support once, twice, and resistance as well, once and twice over there as well. So the plan this week was for looking for that correction for pound USD back into this area for the next higher low and more upside. And that still very much is the plan. You can see how price is moving. 1, 2, 3, looking for the fourth bounce for a continuation. That's still very much the plan there with pound USD. However, it's a game of patience. Price is nowhere near that area just yet, but that is really where my focus is for pound USD at the moment. Really solid level of support and resistance, nice trendline confluence. Is just waiting to see if price can actually get there for a retest. And we're coming from a nice area in the daily chart as well. As I hinted at yesterday, we're coming from a very strong low, which gave us this really big push to the upside, taking out these highs. So that indicates that the market is still very much in this bullish daily structure, and we're still respecting that low. So that might be an indication that we could go to the upside a lot further if we respect this low, which of course price is doing exactly that. So pretty bullish on pound USD for now. Still keeping a close eye on 1.25, but yeah, not trading it there at that level just yet. So on the sidelines of pound USD, dollar CAD looking for more downside for this one. Didn't quite make the retest of that consolidation this week, so very much still left hanging there for dollar CAD. In terms of the buys, still very bearish. We've had a lovely bullish trend, but I am looking at this kind of price action as the top to that. Lovely consolidation, big kind of fake to the upside, and now we're seeing some follow through to the downside. So in my book, I'm looking for a lot more downside for dollar CAD, and a retest of that range at 1.43 would be nice for entries. Of course, not quite there yet. Still, hopefully, we can see that correction. We haven't taken out these lows, so the odds of us still seeing that correction is still in our favor. However, yeah, if we do take out the lows, then maybe we have to be more focused on the lower time frame pullbacks, because we might not see that bigger pullback. But for now, 1.43 still looks really good. Still very bearish on dollar CAD. USD DXY still looks pretty bearish as well. So there is some nice synchronicity between these markets here. So as long as we maintain 1.43 and we don't break through it to the upside like so, that keeps me bearish. If we break to the upside, I wouldn't necessarily be bullish, but I would kind of recalculate my entries and where I'm looking to get involved. But for now, that's still very much the plan there for dollar CAD. Aussie dollar, a lot of upside yesterday as well. I think from an intraday point of view, this looks like a really nice opportunity because we've had this consolidation over here. Price broke to the upside pretty aggressively. Then we formed another consolidation and price broke to the upside pretty aggressively as well. So a retest of this area, perhaps maybe on like the 30, 50-minute chart would look good for more upside. There's a lot of momentum to the upside right now for Aussie dollar. And I would expect that to continue as long as we can continue to respect structure, which so far we're doing very well. So I would focus on this area here at 0.637, lovely level of resistance will be turned support. And if we can drop to like the 15-minute chart, then you have to drop to the 15, even hourly probably be a nice chart there. But the lower, the better in terms of refining the entry. But in terms of the price action, still very bullish. I was looking for the bigger pullback into this area. We may still get it, but at the moment in time, yeah, momentum is still very strong. The trend's still very up on the lower time frame. So I would keep it short and sweet with Aussie dollar, some pullbacks, intraday pullbacks, and would expect some new highs pretty soon there for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, same situation as well. I was looking for a slightly deeper pullback this week. Didn't quite happen. We just got them broken through the highs there again. So I would suggest another pullback will look good. This area here looks pretty nice. This is where the momentum kind of consolidated. Then we shot to the upside. So a retest of that area would be a nice place for long. You can see prices being continuous here with the breaks of the highs. So again, that points to the upside for us. If price is very consistent, breaking the high after high after high, and now we're being pretty consistent with the higher lows as well. It's a sign that directions are changing for New Zealand dollar. We've been pretty bearish for a while. It looks like that is starting to form a bit of a bottom now, and perhaps we could form a bit of a trend. Again, how long that bullish trend does go on for, that's a different question. It might just be a bigger pullback of the bearish trend before continuing. That could be the situation as well, but there probably would be some nice buy opportunities for us in the meantime, and that's kind of what we're looking at now. So keeping a close eye on that for New Zealand dollar. In terms of gold, this one having a bit of a nuisance, or being a bit of a nuisance, I should say, at the high here. So I'm still very bullish on gold. However, in terms of the buys, as I was mentioning yesterday, I want to see price well and truly break through this level at 29.40. If you can see a strong break above the high here, that will give me some confidence in terms of looking to follow the trend, because gold is still very much overextended. It's very stretched to the upside. So I'm expecting a deeper correction at some point. Yeah, if we're going to get that correction, then I need to see price kind of commit to the downside. We had some key support which price respected this week, and we are starting to form a bit of a range here. So if we can commit to the downside past 28.80, then that deeper correction has probably got the green light. But at the moment, we're just really struggling at the high. We may just go and break through potentially. If that's the case, great. Then I'll start talking about some longs again. Perhaps we could be looking at a push back to 3K, which is that big psychological level. But at this moment in time, we're kind of just struggling to do either right now. So don't really like the price action of gold too much. Ryan, you said you're shorting gold in a low time frame. I mean, depends what time frame you're looking at. 50-minute doesn't look too bad, because we do have some bearish structure on our hands here. We've got the high, we've got the low, the lower high, lower low. So there is some structure there to follow. But I'd wait for a much deeper correction before looking to get involved. Something that mimics this in a way. Looking for another lower high, maybe closer to 29.40. Coming back into some areas up there. So yeah, I think shorts do look okay from intraday play. Of course, gold is still very much in a very bullish climate, so shorts are always going to be a bit more aggressive. Not that they won't play out, but when the market is as bullish as it is, it's always going to be a bit more difficult for a sell. But you do have this level here to the left, which price is still struggling to break through. So that's a bit of a confidence for the shorts there. And if you can get a deeper correction, there could be a nice short, perhaps maybe this afternoon or maybe early next week. So something like that could line up pretty well on the 50-minute chart, but we do need to see that correction kind of develop and come into that area. Otherwise, I wouldn't really be looking to short around here. It's too aggressive of a sell, especially given the circumstance which we're trading in, which is still a very bullish market. But yeah, I can see some short-term sells there for gold, keeping it short and sweet. Personally, I'll still be focused very much on the buys, as that's where the current trend lies at the moment. But I would still be expecting to see at least a reaction there. In terms of silver, still very bullish on this one as well. This one has cleared some nice resistance on the daily chart. So as long as we can keep this up and we don't break back underneath, I do think things are looking very good for silver for a push all the way back to the swing high here at 34.88. That's still very much the target for myself for silver. Now that we've cleared resistance there, most likely price is going to push back to the next high, which would be this one at 34.88. So we are trading above some nice resistance now. Things are a little bit slow, so that's what I don't like about silver. Nice trend, higher highs, higher lows, pretty clear to see. But we've been having this breakout, but we just lacked momentum. So I'm kind of hoping silver will see some momentum from somewhere, and then we can look to try and hop on the next pullback and ride that to the upside. Perhaps maybe on the retest of that level, that would be a nice place for an entry. But in terms of the setup, I do want to see price take up the highs here on the left, because if we do take up the highs, that means that the trend on the 4 hour is still continuing, and most likely we are going to push back to the high there, 34.88, because last week we had that massive wick to the upside just before Friday closed. So if we can take out the high of that wick, that shows that, okay, that rejection has been pretty much is pretty much void. Price is now breaking the highs of that, showing that, okay, the buyers are successful now breaking past that point. And yeah, pullbacks and more upside will look good, and we'll be expecting a push back to 34.88. So very bullish on silver, just looking for momentum to pick up a little bit because we are becoming a bit corrective now. So hopefully that can come from somewhere, maybe today or maybe some point next week. And then, yeah, looking for pullbacks, possibly on the retest of the high. Depends how he sets up, but something like that is what I'll be interested in for silver. So yeah, very bullish on silver. Overall, pretty bullish on gold, but yeah, we need some development there before I do take any buys on gold and silver.